Nunchucks are widely considered one of the coolest martial arts weapons out there and deeply associated with Bruce Lee, probably the most famous and impactful martial artist to have ever existed. I have always admired the various skills of martial artists around the world, so I decided it was time to try out the nunchucks myself. Is it hard or even possible, or is it much easier than expected? Stay tuned to find out. In the beginning, after watching a bunch of tutorials, I spent some time focusing on what I considered the basics, which were first, the Bruce Lee triangle. This trick is very simple and helps you very much to get a feeling for how the nunchucks behave. You grab the nunchucks close to the chain and swing it to the top of your shoulder. It bounces back and you do the same thing to the diagonal hip side. It bounces back again and you continue with the opposite side of the hip and then back to the top of the shoulder. Seems definitely doable. Kind of cool, I guess? This felt very natural, so after some time it was fairly smooth and I moved on to a different trick. Nice! The armpit catch. This is the move that everyone has in mind when they think about nunchucks. The signature move is possible to do in both directions, from the armpit to the shoulder, and the other way around. But the first way is much harder, because A, if you don't do it correctly, you will hit the back of your head. Ouch. Luckily I have training nunchucks, so I'm fine for now. And B, it's much harder to catch because you need to develop a sense for where you have to place your catching hand so you don't under or overcatch. This move is actually a little tricky to execute and gave me some trouble. You swing it like this, under your armpit, and it's supposed to... I kept hitting the back of my head or failed to catch them, as it really wasn't easy catching them smoothly without seeing them. And then you do the same thing. Oh, nice. You do the same thing on the other side. Oh, okay, never mind. I nunchucked my microphone. I hope you're alright. I'm gonna try the other way. This was very close to my head. Ah, come on! With some training, however, it actually started looking decent, so I moved on to some very cool looking tricks. The figure eight. The figure eight! We all love it, we all remember it from the staff spinning, the basic. And the more advanced figure 8 wrist roll version. If you have seen my staff spinning video, you probably remember those tricks. For the figure 8, you spin the nunchuck from one side to the other side of your body, forming a sideways 8 or infinity symbol. This is possible forwards and backwards. You can go backwards as well, right? So that's nice. For the wrist roll version, you do the same thing, but it was necessary to release the chuck and let the chain in between the nunchucks roll over your wrist once so you can catch the other nunchuck. Due to the very similar movement pattern to the staff version, I understood what I had to do immediately. Actually doing it, however, was much harder than expected. Oh. The chain felt very long and I kept grabbing the chain instead of the other nunchuck. Yeah, this chain is way too long, bro. So when I try to grab the other one, I'm grabbing the chain. After some time, however, I figured out the key was to release the chuck a little earlier and let the chain spin loosely around the wrist. I practiced for a while and then it finally started working out. And to be honest, I really like this trick as it looks really cool. I then moved on to another trick, the middle pass. You start this trick from a reverse figure 8 and pass the chuck from one hand to the other with a more or less flicky but smooth motion. It's like a middle pass, you know? You pass it in the middle. Ah! Oh! This was very simple to understand and do, so I quickly moved to the final trick of this video, which was extremely complicated. It looks like this. I really had to carefully analyze and watch the video many times to understand what he's doing. And at first it seemed really impossible.
That shit is impossible. It's so goddamn complicated. I had to watch the tutorial at least 10 times.
But I carefully separated all the steps and slowly got the hang of it. You start with a wrist roll in front of your body and then twist your arm with the chuck one more time. Then you pick it up with the other hand and do another wrist roll to swing it back over and re-grab it with the first hand. You then perform another wrist roll and end up with a reverse grip, so you do one final wrist roll, just like in the figure 8 motion, to get back to the initial position. Totally easy to understand, right?
Nope. You start off by swinging the nunchuck this way, it seems. Then you do the wrist roll. Then you do another roll and really bend your arm so you have enough space right here to grab the nunchucks with the other hand. And then you do a wrist roll. And then you do a wrist roll with the other hand. And then you do another, you grab with the other hand again. And then you do another wrist roll. So you're back here. And then you go into the figure 8, into the right grip again. Okay, I think that was right. I mean, it was super slow, but... Okay. This must look like absolute shit, I swear to God. This must look terrible. This is not easy. Oh my god, that was it. It wasn't that great, but it was very decent compared to before. Shit!
After having done the entire sequence once or twice, however, your body just learns what to do.
Oh yes!
This one definitely wasn't easy, and it took quite some time to carve the motion into my body and brain to make it decently fast.
Okay, that was the best one yet.
But now I have all the tools and tricks I need to make a cool combo, so I trained and trained. And then I trained some more. I was glad about the training nunchucks, but even with them, I hurt myself multiple times. But I made progress and I couldn't wait to show how fast I had gotten. And then the time had come. After all my training, I knew I had it. So I started warming up a little, and then when I finally tried my best, this was the result.
Let's do it. Shit, I forgot.
It was good, but I knew I could do a little better. So I kept trying just to be a little cleaner and faster. And a few attempts later, this was my new best.
Hell fucking yes!
I did it. You cannot imagine how happy I was with what I had achieved. In just a few hours of total training time, I went from this
Okay.
to this.
I cannot believe that a few days ago I was a complete nunchuck beginner
And now I could do all of this. This just goes to show that it's never too late to learn something new. And if I can do it, so can you. Don't forget to subscribe and learn something Don't forget to subscribe and learn something new for yourself today. Also, feel free to support me on Patreon if you want. I'd very much appreciate it. Until next time, have a wonderful day.